Welcome to the Women's Environmental Institute. This is our farm campus, and it's filled with organically certified trees, which in about a month's time will be beautiful in full bloom. We just use organic practices, pest management, traps, pheromones. So far we're doing okay. We have a lot of the old standard trees and a few of the new ones from U of M. In April, we're going to put in about 30 new trees. You're welcome to come. Be a wonderful Saturday and a Sunday. Now, that little shape in the woods there, what do you think that might be? Well, it's actually a dome, and it's the new classroom where we're going to be teaching in a classroom that's out in the woods. There'll be all kinds of classes, from yoga to farming classes to serious what is climate change kinds of classes, and small concerts. It's going to be very versatile. It's also a storage unit, so kind of multi-purpose thing. So we're approaching the land that we farm back there. That's owned by a group of women. Actually, there's a horseshoe of land around this centerpiece, which is actually the nonprofit land. And when we all die, it's going to be entrusted to the Institute, or whoever owns it. Hopefully, University of Minnesota. This is a pizza oven, and some entrepreneurial type person could help us make a lot of money, but we don't have enough time to do pizza at the farm. But it is a possible way to make real money. This is Barney. Hi, Barney. How are you? Barney is covered with white stuff. Barney was found in the barn. And Barney moved in with us. We kept him all winter, or her, all winter, because we didn't want Barney to get pregnant. Barney had one night out and came home with the tightest belly in a few weeks. So the other cat here is Barney's daughter. And we all live together now. This is the person I talk to the most. Life of a farmer. This is le jardin de la maison. And if we're lucky this year, we'll have a few more weddings in this beautiful garden to be. And hopefully we'll get some flowers in. We've already seeded the flowers. We're just trying to get them ready. And then as we walk in this direction, we're actually walking away from the orchard. There's about 7.5 acres of orchard, and we're walking towards the farmland, the tillable land, which is over to the south of us. So I'm going to walk in that direction. So on the orchard part of the campus, we teach people how to prune trees, how to graft apple limbs, water sprouts. We teach people how to harvest. There's actually an art to harvesting, so that you don't ruin the buds for next year or yank the trees down. That's why we don't do pick your own. We always have that didactic moment where we can teach people to do something. And you can see we've got a lot of the prunings from this winter. We're just about done with that. And the next couple of weeks we'll be killing gophers and hanging pheromones up in the trees that will dissuade the male moths from mating, because they won't be able to find the mate. A couple weeks ago we had the red ball party where we took down all the sticky balls. There's one. And we hang those out July 1st. That traps the apple maggot fly and keeps those brown streaks out of the apple. You probably run into an apple like that. So these are the kinds of techniques that we use. We're always working with nature. We're not allowed to use a whole lot of sprays. There are a few botanical sprays that we're allowed, but mostly we're getting by. Well, here you see a little pheromone up here. That's the kind of twister that we'll be putting, and it exudes pheromone for a particular variety of moth all summer once we get them up. Right? So the male moth comes flying over the orchard and is so ecstatic because the whole thing smells like a moth vagina, right? And basically can't find anybody, right? So falls into bliss, I guess. I don't know. This is where we have wedding music. Hint. Big tent, wedding music, whatever. The orchard stretches out both sides all the way down to 7.5 acres. These are my favorite little gals. Hi, chickies. Chickie, chickie, chickie. Hi, chickie, chickie, chickie. Hi, there's our rooster, happiest man on earth. He thinks he owns all of them. So we sell all of our eggs to Gandhi Mahal. So we're going to be growing a lot of produce for Gandhi Mahal this summer. All right, now we're approaching the farm itself, the farmland. And somehow we'll be, where those flags are up, we're probably going to be planting trees in about 3 weeks. Now you'll notice we have a number of hoop houses, which is kind of unusual. The reason we have hoop houses is that every year we invite Will Allen in to do a farm training, and every year he comes, he builds a hoop house. He teaches people how to build a hoop house like this in a weekend, right? If you have enough people to do it. So it's been very advantageous to us in this cold climate to have these structures available. So one of the unique things, a lot of these hoop houses are empty, but they'll be filled up within 2 weeks with our seeds. These two end ones, you notice they have a lot of propane around them. These are called aquaponic hoop houses. So we're growing both fish and greens. And I can take you into one of them. We're just trying to establish our new fingerlings now in these hoop houses. So let me take you there. This is for my dog, so she doesn't get out. This structure, you'll notice that we have two structures up here. One is a longhouse, and the other is a sweat house. I don't know if you can see it way up there, but under the full moon of June, we have an Indigenous women's ceremony, 4 days of dancing, and the men cook in the longhouse for the women. It's I hate to use the word authentic, but it feels pretty close to it. It's led by a woman from Mexico, an Indigenous woman. And all those stones, this is about our 6th year. All those stones are called grandfather stones, and they come from the fire that burns steadily for 4 days and 4 nights and goes into the sweat. Right? So it's a little too essentialist for me, but people like it. That's the problem with being an academic. You know, you might miss some spiritual things that happen. Especially secular as I am. Okay, so this is our new aqua hoop house. So we have an aquaponic unit in it, and the last 2 weeks we've been fighting off a little aphid attack, which is yeah, there you go. So these are, the way this works is we put the fish down here. They poop in the water and we feed them. And then this water goes all the way up to the top and this shelf and comes back down again. When it comes down, there's enough bacteria in the tank to convert the ammonia from the fish to nitrate, which can be taken up by the plants. So it's a 2-step bacterial process. And we just kind of got started late this year, but next winter we'll run it throughout the whole, that's okay. We'll run it throughout the whole year. So we're moving towards becoming a 4-season farm. We'll be able to produce these greens all winter, right? And once this is plush, there'll be plants up there, plants down here, and of course you see we're using this as a backup for these. Actually, these plants are going to go back into the aquaponic unit. So a new innovation we have this year is that we tried to heat this with compost, which worked really well. I mean, it cut down our bills considerably. We have to use some propane, something, but we were very successful just using compost and the heat from the compost. There's another aquaponic here, but we don't have any water running yet. We're going to fill this with about 3,000 to 4,000 fingerlings, and then we're selling those out to restaurants. If we can do it well, we might make some money. But it's all a work in progress. So, I'm not sure there's more to see in here. There's just yeah, we just have a lot of seedlings going in here. So all these will be filled with fish. These are mushrooms that we grew all summer, all winter. And then this is the start of the farm right here. We seed everything, right? Either seed and transplant or direct seed, right? So these are all the alliums. We planted those in February, right? And it's coming, it's so exciting. So these will probably go out in May or April into the field. We can leave that open, it's really hot. Not much more to see except a greenhouse over here into the sun. So this is where almost everything will get started. In about a week or so, this will be full. 2 weeks probably. And then we'll be putting our hot peppers up here as soon as they're big enough. We try to be first on the market for the hot peppers. So I don't know. I don't come from a farm family. So this is all a big mystery. I think a couple generations back I must have had farmers because I just love this. I really do. So now these broccoli plants, they're going to go out of doors next week, right? So that by June coming, you're going to have huge heads of broccoli, right? These are really, they're right at the two leaf, almost 4-leaf stage. That's as soon as you can put them out, right? This is something I'm going to try this year because I'm very much enamored with Elaine Ingham. We're going to start using compost tea to put more microbes into the soil. We're turning the whole farm into a cover crop and a microbial farm. So we're not going to use anything but natural life under the soil and cover crops for nitrogen, like clover and that. And then it's my new toy. Can't believe it actually happened. We also grow for other farms. This is for a city farm. But this is something that's every farmer's dream. People who plant by seeds. So we have these plates on this unit, and you start this vacuum. Put the seeds on here. They sink down into these holes, and then you just sweep them off like this. And while the vacuum is still running, you flip this over, and you can put it on a tray like this. You release the vacuum, and everything falls right in center. Right? So, that's okay. So this has been our new way of having less labor needs and just smarter, small tech to move it along very quickly. So I'm happy with that. And again, if you come back in just a week or two, this will be green everywhere green. 1st of April is a little early. So long. Thanks for coming to WEI, and I hope to see you out here.